بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والآن مع السلام الوطني لدولة الكويت. All rise up please for the national anthem of the state of Kuwait. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السيد تومي دوبليك المدير التنفيذي لشركة زورا روبوتس. Mr. Tommy Dublique, CEO of Zora Robotics. المهندس عبد الله الصفار المؤسس والمدير التنفيذي ل Manufacturing Rapid Technology. Engineer عبد الله الصفار, the founder and CEO of Manufacturing Rapid Technology. ضيوفنا الكرام السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. في البداية بالنيابة عن اللجنة المنظمة لمؤتمر تكنولوجيا المستقبل والتصنيع الإضافي الكويت 2022 أود أن أتقدم بوافر الشكر وجزيل الامتنان للسيد تومي دوبليك المدير التنفيذي لشركة زورا روبوتكس على حرصه وتفانيه وتواجده في هذه المناسبة، والشكر موصول للمؤسس المهندس عبد الله الصفار أيضا على تفانيه في تحقيق هذا الحدث، ولا ننسى زملائه المهندس عبد الرحمن الرئيس والمهندس ناصر عبد العزيز، وأيضا الشكر لكل من ساهم في تحقيق وإنجاح هذا المؤتمر. حضورنا الكرام، استطاعت اللجنة المنظمة أن تجلب أفضل الخبرات العلمية لعرض آخر ما توصلت إليه التقنيات الحديثة، على سبيل المثال الحصر الروبوت أو الإنسان الآلي. ونتمنى المزيد من التطور والتقدم لوطننا الكويت الغالي والتوفيق للجميع. Dear distinguished guests, in the beginning, on behalf of the organizing committee of the Conference on Future Technology and Additive Manufacturing Kuwait 2022, I would like to offer my sincere thanks and gratitude to Mr. Tommy Dublique, CEO of Zora Robotics, for his dedication. And moreover, great thanks to the founder, Engineer Abdullah Safar, for his sincerity, dedication, and concern. Thanks is extended to his colleagues, Engineer Abdurrahman Al-Rayis and Engineer Nasser Abdul Aziz. And a great thanks to everyone contributed to this success of this conference. Our honorable attendance, the organizing committee was able to bring the best scientific expertise to display the latest in modern technologies, for example, the robots, which is the best in Zora Robotics. We wish further development and progress for our dear country, and good luck to you all. والآن حضورنا الكرام الكلمة للمؤسس المهندس عبد الله الصفار مدير تنفيذي لشركة Manufacturing Rapid Technology، فليتفضل مشكورا. As for now, I would like to call upon the founder, Engineer Abdullah Safar, for his opening remarks.
السلام عليكم. احنا الهدف من هذا المؤتمر او الندوه هذه ان احنا نقدم التكنولوجيا اللي موجوده من ناحيه الروبوتات والفيرتشوال رياليتي بالكويت، عشان احنا نواكب التطور. مثل ما احنا دائما كنا نتكلم ان التكنولوجيا لازم نواكبها، اذا احنا تاخرنا ولو يوم او دقيقه راح نصير في المؤخره في التقدم العلمي. فلذلك انا ما راح اطول عليكم كالعاده. انا اقدم لكم ان السيد تامي راح يتكلم عن زورا روبوتكس وعن السوفت وير اللي قاعد يستخدمونه وشون الابلكيشنز من ناحيه الاديوكيشن، الهيلث، جميع القطاعات. فيعطيكم العافيه.
ضيوفنا الكرام، والآن يلقي علينا السيد تومي دوبليك المدير التنفيذي لشركة زورا روبوتكس محاضرة بعنوان Zora Robotics. And next presenter will be presenting a presentation with the title of Zora Robotics. The presenter has experienced more than 25 years in IT. He had been in the business of computers and networking for more than 20 years. He had a company in Qatar for more than 7 years, and which was called QBMT. His presentation has a title of Zora Robotics. Will definitely produce this and present this presentation, Mr. Tommy Dubleek, the CEO of Zora Robotics. Let's all give him a round of applause.
Hello, hello. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
First of all, thank you for the kind words.
Most welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Al-Safar, for inviting me, giving me the opportunity to explain everything about Zora Robotics, and especially about the warm welcome I had in Kuwait. Thank you. So let me start. Today I'm going to tell you about our company, the link, of course, we have with Kuwait, and how we came from a robot pioneer until a IoT full platform. The company was founded in 2011 by my best friend Fabrice and myself. We started up with one robot. We are robot enthusiasts. We all love Star Wars, and this is why we came up with the idea and also with the passion to start into robotics. The difference between me and Fabrice is I'm taking care more of the technical business, and Fabrice is more taking care of the economical business. Okay, the software itself, how did it start? Well, first of all, we had a vision, and the vision is to bring things, or to bring technology easy to people. Because if it is easy, everybody will start using it. That's our main slogan. And this you will see throughout the whole software. So the first robot was the Now, which you can see there on the right side. In 2013, there was only one brand and one type of robot. The brand was SoftBank, and the robot was the Now. The problem back then, the robot came only with a development tool, only for programmers, not for daily people to use. We started making the software so that everybody could start using that robot. That was in 2013. We started selling the robot to healthcare, to elderly care in Europe. We had massive success. Of course, the Chinese were looking and they said, oh, robot business, this is interesting business. So we would start to make robots ourselves. So out of a sudden, instead of having one brand, there were multiple brands. But then we had a problem. Because we had a software which was written for one robot, not for all robots. And we had a lot of opportunists who started to make applications for a niche market, especially typed on one robot. So we sit back at the table and we started thinking, how can we solve that problem? Well, let us make a robot-independent software so that all robots can run the same software. And to go ahead a little bit, we succeeded. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about a software anymore. I'm going to talk about a platform. What can the platform do? And the first keyword of our platform, it is robot independent. So 99% of the robots out there, doesn't matter what brand, doesn't matter what type, it can run our software or our platform. Really important. So I'm going to try to explain things by some of the use cases. We have plenty, but some of the use cases that I think is really important. Let me start with, we all know COVID, we know what happened in COVID. So our robots, and especially our platform, helped a lot during COVID. We signed United Nations. We bought anti-COVID robots from us to check whether you were wearing your mouth mask correctly, and how high your temperature or how low your temperature was. And then based on that, you could either enter the country or not. So we sold a lot to them. And we were only capable of doing that because they could choose the robots. And we delivered the platform. We also delivered the platform in 52 languages. So each country with a separate language could use the local language without any hassle. So also it is fully in Arabic. The second one is food delivery. In Europe, we have a problem with employees. We have not enough young people to go to work, and we have a lot of elderly people who want service. So there you have a problem. And how can you solve that problem? Well, you can use robots. We have robots, because of our platform, who can navigate autonomously. You don't have to do anything. You call it comes to your table, you can order your stuff, you can your food, you can it brings your food, and you can pay to it. So it's fully 360 degrees service. And the third one, I would like to propose is a VIP guiding system. You can have a robot coming to you and guide you on your journey, whether it is on the airport or in an event or in a retail store, and bring me to a coffee machine or whatever. It can do that. And it's a small movie, it's not long, you will see how it works.
Welcome to the knowledge event. Watch my screen and make your choice. Hello, I will guide you to the place where you can pick up your badge. Follow me, please. Here we go.
So as you can see, the robot knows where he has to go, and is guiding the person to the place where he can do the check-in. This was an event in Den Haag, I think a couple of months ago. Of course, this is just some pictures to show that we have a lot of use cases. Healthcare, education, events, retail, and we always work together with an integrator or a distributor, such as RMT, to guide the customer into what do you want. Because we're not the company who's going to tell, this is how you should use robots. We're going to ask you, what's your problem? And how can we solve your problem using our software, using our robots? And mostly there is a big return on investment at the end for the customer itself. Okay, a little bit more about the software and some key things you need to know before I go to a live demo. It's a hybrid system. It's cloud and it's a little bit installed on the robot itself. Why? Well, there are still a lot of places in the world where you don't have internet or internet is not working really good. So if you go to a customer and you say it's fully cloud and there is no internet, then the robot is not going to work. So we came up with the idea to make it hybrid. So whenever the cloud is sending anything to the robot remembers and he will do his tasks. That's one thing. Second thing, and it's a little bit technical, it's Docker containered. And I'm going to give you an example of what that means. I told you about United Nations and that we were delivering our robots to them. And they were delivering the robots to specific countries in Africa. Of course, the governments in Africa, they said, okay, it's fine, but the data coming out of the robots, the people going in and showing their faces and their passports or whatever, that's sensible. I don't want it on your servers, I want it on my own. So because of our system is a Docker container system, again that technical word, you can install an instance of our software on your cloud, on the customer cloud, meaning all the data stays with you, and you can make it a look and feel to your likings. Okay? We have several modules which enable us to give a full service to our customers. It goes from controlling your robot to, we call it a composer, to make your own programmation, showing things on the screen, doing navigation, and of course for third party, such as RMT, to make their own apps on it. So now I'm going to try to switch my screen, so I'm going to take a time and going live to Ostend in Belgium, where one of my robots is there, and I'm going to control it and explain a little bit what our software can do. As you can see, it's nighttime. Okay, so I'm on the control side of the robot now. I have my own account. Everybody can make an account. To my account, I have linked multiple robots, as you can see here. So I have a lot of robots connected to it. I've chosen one. And then the first thing you see is the dashboard, one-year dashboard. The dashboard is automatically recognizing what type of robot I'm connected to. And based on that information, it's going to show you the modules that it is capable of doing. An example, if the robot does not have a camera, you will not see the camera. If the robot does not have navigation capabilities, you will not see the map. Actually, the map is not going well. Let me retry. You can create multiple dashboards. You can rearrange them to your likings. And the most use for the dashboard actually is not to control the robot, but is to service the robot. Because Zora Robotics is focusing a lot on service. It's IT. Always something goes wrong in IT. Somebody who tells me, I have bought a software or I've bought some computers and everything works fine 100%, not good. Always something goes wrong. So the key thing is if you go with the software to your customers, go with robots to your customers, service is key. And service is not, you have to call somebody, you have to wait a couple of hours, the guy goes over, he looks at the thing, he has to go back to the office, program a little bit, it takes too much time. No, you need somebody at the phone picking up, oh, there's a problem, sir, let me take over your robot, I will see what happens. This is why the dashboard is also for. The next thing I want to talk to you about, I know the screen is a little bit little, but it's our kiosk system. What is our kiosk system? Every robot which has a screen, like Pepper, we can control the screen. So our customer can put his own look and feel. Please don't look, I'm not a designer. Our integrators are designers, so they make beautiful stuff. You can add buttons, as many as you wish, in each form that you wish, in each color that you wish, and you can add actions to that button. And again, you can choose whatever you want, like opening a website, showing a video or a photo, doing a questionnaire, opening an app that's installed on the robot, or opening your own app, which I will show later how to do, that you made yourself. And you can link a voice command to a button. So in that way, you're in full control of your robot or what's happening on the screen. Okay. Third part is our localization system. What is a localization system? So a multitude of robots, they have a navigation inside. Most of them are LiDAR. LiDAR is based on laser, which is turning around really rapidly, and we're sending out a signal and coming back, a little bit like sonar, but then with laser. So what is our software doing? We are robot independent, so meaning we take out the raw data out of the robot itself and present it here. The white that you see and the black borders is coming out of the robot. The white is actually the floor plan. This is the floor plan of a room in my office. And the black are the borders. So what is ZBoss adding to that? We have two layers. You see the yellow dots here, and you see the arrow on the dot? Okay. The yellow thing is a point of interest, meaning you tell your robot this is a place that you have to remember. So for instance, if we use a robot to map here, and you see the whole room, it will show here in the correct form, and then I can say, okay, like this is an entrance, I want the entrance to be a point of interest, I put it in. So later on, I can tell the robot, go to that place of interest. So he will remember it. And why the arrow? This is to tell the robot how to face yourself, because you want him to face the customers. So if it's the door, well, you want him to face like this, or the other way around. So this is how you show it in the software. And then you have the second layer, it's the red lines. And the red lines are virtual walls. Why? Well, LiDAR is laser that runs through glass. So if you have a glass wall, and a lot of offices have, then you have a problem. You will have a robot hitting the glass wall all the time. It's funny, but it's not useful. Then we came up with the idea to create your virtual wall. So you can design it yourself. You can say, okay, there is the glass wall, I will just sign it, and then it will be recognized as a normal wall. Of course, you can use the same system as a security measure. Robot do not go in there, or robot do not go out there, or be careful, there is a stair, don't fall down. You can add it to that system. Again, we are robot independent. That means that if you have one robot scanning the room, putting the virtual balls and the points of interest, you can send it to all your robots at once, whatever the brand. So that's again the benefit of the use of robot independent software. Okay, I'm going to tell you a little history story before I explain what you're seeing here. When we started selling our first robots, we sold it to elderly care. Elderly care in Europe, it's a big market, it's a big thing. And we had nurses using the robot all the time, and they loved it. It was really easy to use. But they were asking us a lot of questions like, okay, can you make a quiz with the robot? Or can you make the robot dance and then talk and then walk? So sequential things. And we were doing all the stuff all the time, not making money. And we said we have to rethink. We have to come up with an idea so that the nurse can start to program. So it has to be really, really, really easy. So we came up with a composer. It's already been used since 2014, this system, by 1,500 nurses on a daily basis. And they only have a course of like half an hour to start using it, so it's really easy. How does it work? Here on your left side, I'm sorry about the image, but you can really see it really good. Everything that a robot can do is divided in blocks. So like speech, going someplace, clicking on a sensor, whatever. And the only thing you need to do is you need to drag and drop it into the timeline. So I want the robot. I want the robot to say something. And then I'm gonna wait to click a sensor. And then I'm gonna ask him to go to a point of interest, which I've showed you earlier on. I have programmed. It's that easy. Now I can run it. I don't know if you can see it, but there is the run button. I can run it. I can send it to a friend and to ask to that friend, did I do it okay? Do you have other ideas? Or I can send it to a complete robot fleet and start using it. So in that way, we have a full market of people who are non-technical starting using robots, and they love it because they feel it is easy to use, so they want to use it. Okay? Of course, when you come up with an easy version, you have the tech guys and the smarter guys who said, yeah, this is fun, but logarithms like if then else, I don't know if you know that, but loops and stuff like that, you can't do that. Can you make something a little more technical? So we said yes. And we came up with the advanced composer. Actually, it's the same thing, and I will try to open one. Yeah. It's the same thing, but instead of putting it in a timeline, you have to put it in on your dashboard. You have to link the blocks by yourself, but because you can do it on a dashboard, now you can have if then else. Today, each project that we are doing, whether it is ourselves through a customer or for the end customer, demo, whatever, everything is programmed in the advanced composer. Our development team cannot, may not, put one code into software that we bring to the customer. Why? We want the customer to learn it by themselves and to adapt it by themselves. So each time we reach a block and we said, oh, this is not possible yet, our development team has to go back to the table and create a new block. In that way, we are growing rapidly in that system. Well, when you make compositions, what to do with them? Of course, you can click yourself, but actually that's of no use. Earlier on, I told you you can link it to the kiosk system. Okay, that's useful. You can make something when the customer clicks, and then it's going to do something. But it would be better that you can schedule it in an agenda, in a calendar. So we came up with a scheduler, and then you can just say, okay, in that time, on that day, please do that composition. meaning robot do this task. And of course you can make it recurring, whatever. And then the opposite is also possible, not based on time, but based on a trigger outside. For instance, if the sun goes down, then the robot should do the task. If a website is sending out a signal, we capture that signal, then a composition should run. Or if you say hi to one robot, the other robot should do something. So you can link things together with those triggers. So that's on the robot side. Let me go back to my presentation now. We are not only a platform for robots. We went from robots really quickly to IoT and to MQTT. I don't know if you know what IoT means. Just to explain it shortly, IoT is Internet of Things. It's actually everything that is smart out there, which is connected to the internet. The big problem is that each brand who makes IoT stuff has their own ecosystem, has their own way of programming, and they tend not to talk one brand with the other, especially if they are competitors. So that's a problem. But on the other hand, you have a lot of people who want to automate, who want to use those IoT devices, and who have Philips, and who have Samsung, and who have something, whatever kind of brand, a Chinese brand, and they want it all to work together. So they need a platform. I'm proud to say that our platform can connect everything, and we're already compatible with more than 2,000 brands, meaning tens of millions of devices we can interconnect. Again, I want to start with a use case. I don't know if you know about the NEOM project in Saudi Arabia. It's the 170-kilometer long building. Okay, the building itself is already wow, but the more wow thing, especially for somebody who is technical as me, it is going to be full of IoT. It's going to be smart city all the way, meaning it's going to be the biggest IoT thing in the world. A lot of brands, a lot of competitors, all joining and working together. So they needed the software. And we are proud to say that we have signed with it's QSS, is our partner in Saudi Arabia, who have signed NEOM as a project. So all IoT things in the NEOM project will be done by our software. But how did we roll into that IoT and MQTT thing? Well, when you start writing a platform, you have to make choices, development choices. And two choices were really key for us. And the first choice was, well, how do you become robot independent? How do you do that? Well, we looked a little bit to Windows, and Windows actually is not compatible with a laptop. Windows is compatible with the hardware inside. And we did the same thing. We are not compatible with the robot, we are compatible with the hardware inside. So because of that, today we are not only running our software on a robot, we're running our software on set-top boxes, smartwatches, smart vehicles. So those things can already run our software, which was a real benefit for us, which is a benefit for the NEOM project. And the second choice is the way we program microservices, all future stuff, and we had to connect the things. And we needed to choose a protocol. And that protocol is called MQTT, which is technical. You can remember the word or forget it. But the main thing about MQTT, the decision that we took in 2015 was key, because today MQTT is the standard protocol of IoT devices. And because we have made that choice back in 2015, we can now proudly say that we are compatible with more than 2,000 brands out there, connecting everything together. So why going to a platform? Again, in Europe, we have a problem. We have many problems, but this is a big one. First of all, we don't have enough technical people. We don't have enough developers. And I think it's a problem worldwide. But especially in Europe, we have a big problem. That's on the one hand. On the other hand, we have a lot of businesses who wants to automate. So you have a big demand, and you don't have a supply. To solve that problem, you need a software who can supply that, who can make non-technical people or less technical people start making projects for the end customer and automate them. And by using a non-code or a no-code platform, such as the Composer, which is no coding, you can deduct 20 times the implementation time. So it goes 20 times faster to install something, and it's at 20 times the cost. So meaning, if you have a software like this, you can easily turn your customer really satisfied in a short term. And not only that, because it's always the same platform for all brands, you only have to train them once. Because if you always have to, if you buy a robot or you buy a device, and you always have to change the software, and you always have to train your people, that's a cost. Imagine you have a laptop, and each time you buy a new laptop of a new brand, and there is no Windows, you have to relearn how to use it. Yeah, it's the same with our platform. Again, I'm in the Composer. In the Composer, we have added 3 blocks. So I told you earlier on, everything that the robot can do, you can see on your left side. Now we've added everything that the smart environment can do, you can reuse. I'm now linked to my house. I'm a little bit of a geek, so I have a lot of sensors. I have IoT anywhere in my house. So I'm linked to that. So I took the block here, which is the robotics block. And if I open it, now it's going to screen everything. Yeah, okay. And it will categorize everything I have in my house, going from normal sensors to lightning, to switches, to even my Tesla car, anything. My solar panels, everything is linked. And then in the categories itself, let me just take one. These are all my lightings. I can choose one light to do whatever I want. Put it on, put it off, change the color. I'm using Philips Hue. In that way, if you have a multitude of blocks linked to each other, you can make your flow. When I arrive at home, my mobile, GPS-based, said, oh, you're at home, and stuff happens automatically. This is what the NEOM project is about. You will come in with your smartphone, you will be linked to the system, and stuff will happen, whatever they decide they want it to happen. And it's not only for the home, it's for businesses as well. Because imagine you go into a retail shop, and you're recognized, and the robot is coming to you and ask you the questions, and like, okay, I want to see a television of Samsung. Oh, please, mister, come and follow me. I will be your guide today. You will go to the shop, to the television itself. The lights on the television will go on, the television itself, it will explain itself because it's IoT. If you need somebody, it will call somebody. So everything will be interlinked with each other. This is what the NEOM project is about. This is what we are doing as IoT projects already. Okay, that's one of them. I told you earlier on about our customer, the United Nations. One of the airports that we did for them was Kigali Airport in Rwanda. And they did not only want the robots, but they wanted the full service. They knew we did IoT. And it was back in COVID. So what happened? Well, they wanted, when you come in, that it was able to read your COVID pass. You know, the QR code. I don't know if you have used it in Kuwait, but in Europe and in Africa, it was common practice. Based on that QR code, it was said, okay, you're COVID safe or you're not COVID safe. And then it should link to your passport because there's a name. Otherwise, you could use the COVID pass from somebody else. So then you had to have a passport reader. But that passport reader had to be linked as well. And so if you have the check of the passport connecting to your COVID, that was okay. And then of course, if you were invited into the country, that was okay. And the next thing happened. Then there was a robot waiting, checking, are you wearing your mouth mask correctly? And then the other robot was checking, how is your temperature? And if everything checked out, then the security gate went open, all automatically. And everything was done with the advanced Composer. So this is how we implement IoT anywhere we want to. Really easy, really quick. Okay, and now for the last part of the presentation, the metaverse. What is the metaverse? Because everybody is talking about the metaverse and everybody is using and abusing the word. First of all, the metaverse is a virtual environment. It can be big and it can be small. The metaverse is all the virtual environments combined together. This is the idea of Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook. What we are doing in the metaverse is creating your own small part of your metaverse to bring it to the metaverse. Are you still following me?
Yeah.
Okay. It is a software which is still in beta. It's not finished yet. We should be finished by the end of the year. But we already have one big customer. And I guess you all know the customer. It's Coca-Cola. And why did they come to us? Well, again, a little bit of history. I showed you the composer. It's easy to program, but it's also a tool to learn kids how to program. And we tried to link a robot with the composer and try to sell it in Africa to the kids. We didn't succeed. And not because the program was not working good, but because of the budget. The robot was too expensive. So we said, well, we need to come up with another idea. Why not make the robot virtual? Oh, that's a good idea. We looked at development and they said, well for us, it doesn't matter. If we have to program a robot or we have to program a smart vehicle of doing it virtually, the code is the same. Okay, fine. So we made a robot. From a robot, we switched really quickly to a cartoon. From a cartoon, we switched really quickly to an actual person. I don't know if you can see it, but this is me. So I scan myself in. So in the future, because of the services of Mr. Al-Safar, you will be able to scan yourself in and walk around in your own metaverse. And then the next step, the last step was, okay, well now we control beings, but we should control also the environment. Can we make an environment which is smart? Oh yes, we can. So light switches, printers, or whatever kind of device that you can think of, tractors, I don't know, we can make it smart. And because of the composer thing, you can create your own journey in the virtual. And because of the composer thing already connected to the real world, you can connect your virtual to the real world. So you can go into the virtual world and say, I'm going to click a button here, and something in the real world is going to happen, and vice versa. And this is the main reason that Coca-Cola came to us, because this is what they wanted. Other companies who are creating virtual stuff, they're doing it the opposite way. They say, okay, what do you want? Okay, I'm going to make it. Here it is. And then if you want to change something, well, you have to repay, and it's going to take time. With us, it's okay, we're going to listen to you, we're going to make it for you. It's going to look like you wish. And then, because of the composer, you can change it each day if you want to. So that is how we look at the things. I'm going to give you a small demonstration, but I'm going to do it in two phases. First of all, I'm going to show you the control, how a programmer sees the virtual world, and I will be moving around a little bit. And then later on the other side of the room, we have some goggles ready that you can put on and you can walk live in the virtual world. Please bear in mind, first of all, it's still in beta phase, so it's not a finished product. Right? There can be hiccups. And secondly, people who have motion sickness, who have problem with motion, they should not probably use the goggles, but it's a known problem. Okay. I don't have the fastest connection here, so it's loading everything up, so we need to wait a little bit. But in a moment, you will see everything. I don't know, are there already projects on... There I am.
Text.
So that's the staging, that's the beta phase. So are there already projects in Kuwait now on virtual? I don't think so, huh? So it's going to be the first one. Okay. So what do you see here? Actually, this is virtually our office. And I can walk around. I can play with the head. I can put the TV on and off. I'm in full control of that environment. Just to show you, you can easily switch with models. I'm going to load up myself again. Here I am. Okay. So we have multiple models, and so in the very near future, you will be able to scan yourself in and see yourself in such an environment. And of course, we have different environments. And let me go to the Coca-Cola environment. So what you're about to see is Coca-Cola in Belgium, their offices, or the R&D department, because it's for the R&D department. So we virtualized everything. If you go in one day, you will see it's completely the same, except for the devices, we still have to do that. So I have in full control. I can now go to the other room. Now it will load up the other room. And you see how good the reality of the virtual world actually is. So
this is how the robot sees the outer world?
actually this is how we see the virtual world. You will see it later on when you put on your goggles. But you're correct. We have also already linked a robot to the virtual world itself. So you can see in the virtual world your actual robot running around at the same speed and at the same place that he is. So it is linked to each other. And creating a digital twin, like we call it, is really easy with software like ours. Okay, this concludes a little bit my my presentation. I want to end with one thing. We have chosen RMT to work together with in Kuwait. And we have chosen RMT to work together with because of certain rules that we have for all our distributors. When I started talking with Mr. Al-Safar, I learned that we have the same idea about service, how to service your clients, how to be patient with them, how to listen to them, how to see the market, and also the visions, what's the vision for the future. And we had the same ideas. And this is the main reason that I'm really happy to be here and that I'm really happy to continue to work together for the near future. So thank you for that. And thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you very much. في أي أسئلة سواء بالعربي أو بالإنجليزي تفضلوا. Any questions? Yes, please.
Excuse me, about the VR, if it gets implemented in every day-to-day life, how will it affect the future generations' thinking if this is what they grew up with?
So ethics is going to play a large part in the virtual world. So what do you want people to see? And it's going to largely depend on who's making the metaverse. So if we're going to make the metaverse for Kuwait together with RMT, RMT is going to apply the rules for the Kuwaiti virtual world. My partner in France, Marc Connet, he's going to apply the rules which apply to France. And in that way, keeping the real life and the virtual life together. But we need rules. Of course, what's happening in the States with Mark Zuckerberg trying to take over the world with the virtual world, well, I think it's up to governments to really look at what should we bring in as ethics and rules into that virtual world. But it's surely not our task as programmers, because if we do that, things will go wrong.
Thank you, and just one more question, please.
Sure.
When you said about the coding and everyone can code and robots will be doing retail jobs and helping in healthcare,
Sure.
lots of people won't have jobs and they'll go unemployed. So if, for example, one person can do the work of 1,000, lots of people won't have money to buy what they are selling. So if this happens, will the economy collapse and how can we stop it?
Well, first of all, we have a problem, and it's we don't have enough workers. I'm not talking about Kuwait, I'm talking about my part of the world, which is Europe, and we have that problem. I've been telling them for 5 years, and we had, 5 years ago, it was the same. People were telling me, oh yeah, but robots will take jobs. Today people are asking, we need robots to do the jobs, because we don't have any people anymore. So, and an open question I always ask into the public is, okay, for elderly care. I had, 5 years ago, I had somebody ask me the same question and said, okay, yeah, but using a robot for elders, why not using actual people? I said, you're completely right. You should use actual people. But please, everybody in the room who went 5 minutes this year to an elderly care facility to help the elders, please stand up. Nobody stood up. And I said, okay, but you're plan B, plan A, I'm plan B. And the same thing will apply here. If there are not enough workers, you will need robots to do automations. Otherwise, you will not grow. and by 2030, the worldwide population will go down. That are actual figures. So we will have a problem in the future to have robots doing our jobs, because otherwise the jobs will not be done.
Thank you very much.
With pleasure.
Any other questions؟ أحد عنده سؤال؟
I want to ask about security. About already we are afraid of our mobile. What about vehicles?
Well, that's a tricky question as well, because ZBoss is not taking care of the security itself. When we deliver software, we deliver it to the country, or we deliver it to a certain company, and they have to take care of the security. And mostly it is the security which is applicable in that country or in that area. So that's a really hard question to answer. Shortly, what I can answer is that we from Zora Robotics, we won't do anything with your data. We have no connection with your data. We will not connect to your data. We're not interested in your data. But our customers, that's up to them.
Yes. In the future, do you expect we will see reports for everyone?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Report for everyone. Everyone will own these reports.
She's asking if everyone can have a robot in the future.
Oh, a robot in any form? Yes. But your set-top box at home from your telecom operator, I don't know which telecom operator you have here in Kuwait, but your set-top box at home will be turned into a robot. It will do automated stuff for you. So that will be a robot. Yes, everybody will have a robot.
Regarding the IoT part, are you considering that the robots that are based on cloud and local analysis and storage, or is it just cloud analysis and separated from each other?
It's a mixed. So the cloud analysis is separated completely, but even running the robot is part cloud and part on the robot itself. For IoT, it depends on the brand of IoT itself. If we can install an instance of ZBoss on the IoT itself, which can run offline, we will do. If it is not possible, everything will run in the cloud, and the analysis will always be in the cloud because of the CPU power and everything.
Is there a possibility for robots to take over healthcare machine-wise, like life support? We put a robot that can help the person function, and we can read the brain waves to see if they can tell us what's wrong, kind of like a dead man walking. Or robots that can go with the bloodstream for people with weak white blood cells to help infections and stuff like that.
It's an advanced question. First of all, I'm into software, I'm not into hardware. But surely, robots will come in all forms. And you're talking about going into the bloodstream, that's more than nanotechnology, which are small robots. They can make robots in any form, how much they want, with any kind of functionality, but they will need a platform, a software, which will connect them all. Because if you have one robot doing one task and another robot doing another task, and they don't talk to each other, you have a problem. So you need a software to combine everything. But if you're asking me if those robots will exist in the future, yes. Why? We will have a problem with staff. So they will need to invent robots. And also, for security reasons, to the human body. The accuracy of a robot is bigger than the human.
But what about evolution? If we have like nanobots in the bloodstream, will it make our immune system weaker? Or if we replace organs, the failing organs with robotic organs, will in the future they make us weaker, and in the end we become humanoids or cyborgs?
I don't think that's a question for me. Again, I'm in software, I'm not into hardware. I think you would better address your question to somebody who knows a little bit about bionics, biology, and hardware. So I cannot respond to that question, I'm sorry.
Thank you very much.
Good pleasure.
Question?
I just wanted to ask if we will see any kind of automated drones or vehicles by Zora in the near future.
I surely hope so. It depends on the marketing and the sales skills of Mr. Al-Safir, and of course of the willingness of the customers in Kuwait. But if it is up to me, yeah, everyone.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have one.
Please.
Does the AI has to do with the robots, you know? Because, you know, frankly, AI is really developed, you know, let's say concept and, you know, science. But, you know, thinking about the Will Smith movie, you know, how, you know, the robot's taken over, you know, but AI would do that? I mean, is there a possibility?
Yes. First of all, ZBoss is not AI,
Yeah.
we're a platform.
Yeah,
So
I know.
don't worry, it will not take over the world.
But AI could do that.
AI could possibly, but it depends again on the human. I always explain it with a calculator. If you put a software on a calculator and you call it AI, and the AI is calculating stuff which was not invented for that calculator, so it's going beyond,
Okay.
it's safe. But all of a sudden, if that calculator is making spaghetti for you, it's a joke, but anyway, if it's making spaghetti, it's going out of what it's supposed to do, then you have a problem. And this is the distinction you have to see between good AI and bad AI. And I hope that people making AI, especially the Chinese, they're going for the first option and not for the second one.